Let's take them back to Nigeria and let's teach them a different kind of job.
It's a lovely time again with you on the show, The Woman. My name is Elizabeth Abai, and you know how we do it here. We take our time, move around Nigeria, sometimes even beyond, bring you lovely women who are changing lives with their activities and actions. My guest today is someone who for 8 years sat in a particular environment, touched the lives of the people, but the men, the women, the children, and the very young. She is someone who has even decided that after the 8 years, she's not going to give up. She will continue. The job continues. Touching life must continue. First and foremost, she's a biochemist, and she actually specializes in aquaculture. I don't know what she's doing with philanthropy. We'll get to find out what it is. But I know that when you say behind every successful man, there is a woman. She is a typical example. Who is my guest? We'll find out shortly. My guest today already gave you a bit of her personality. Call it tip of the iceberg, you wouldn't be wrong. She is the just finished former, if you like, First Lady of Akwa Ibom State. She is the CEO of the Family Empowerment and Youth Reorientation Path Initiative. Yes, it's a non-governmental organization doing well for the people. She is known as Dr. Martha Emmanuel Udom. Nice to have you on the set.
Same here. Thank you so much.
I feel delighted. How was it for 8 years?
8 years. Super 8 years. It was a beautiful experience. In fact, I can say 8 years of so many things, so many life-changing situations, so many challenges, so many prospects, so many good things, so many bad things. It was all encompassing. So 8 years really exposed me to the world, to the society, exposed me to family problems. 8 years exposed me to the lives of people. 8 years exposed me to women, to the youth, to the men, family as a whole. 8 years was fantastic.
My question I'm asking is on a personal basis now for me. Okay. I'm just wondering, my husband wakes up one day and tells me I want to contest for governorship election of any state. I'll be in a panic mood. How was it for you?
It was the same situation. But you know one thing, when God calls you, my husband's ambition was not out of personal interest. There were so many prophecies that came because we believe truly in prophecy and God. Personally, I was never interested in politics. He was never. We never went to our state to do anything political. But when this prophecy started coming, we did not regard it as anything. But in 2013, I was out there in US for summer with the children. When my husband called me, he said, Coco, something has come up. That's how we call ourselves, Coco.
Coco? What does Coco mean? Is it the chocolates?
It's not, no.
Oh, okay. Okay. Personal
yeah.
person, so to speak. Okay.
Mm-hmm. He said, something has come up. I said, what is it? He said, the state governor has called on him to come and be the secretary to the state government. I said, okay. So what are you saying? What do you... He said, well, I think I have to pray about it. I said, fine, that's what we should do. Let's pray about it. So that's how the journey started. He eventually went as the secretary to the state government in 2013. The next thing he told me, it's like the governor wants to hand over the state to him. I told him again, you know what? Let's take it back to God. If it is His will, it will come to pass. Because one thing I know is when God asks you to move, if you don't move, something may happen.
You become Jonah inside the fish. Really.
Yes. So we prayed about it, and with our pastors, they confirmed it, that he should go. it wasn't easy. There were a lot of resentments from people back home because we were not in Akwa Ibom. He has never participated in politics. Out of the blues, you are coming to be the governor of the state. But no, when God backs you up, no matter the challenges you face, you overcome it. So that was the journey. I had peace because God spoke and was speaking and speaking all the time. So I let it go. That panic disappeared.
That's good.
So his emergence was very peculiar. So many people say, who is this political neophyte? What does he know about politics and that and that and that? They will tell the successor then, this is a bad market. We cannot sell this one. He will not excel. But in all of this, my husband was just keeping quiet, doing his thing, and God was just leading him from one point to another. And we won. And we ended up 8 years successfully.
You know, during, for those of us who are on the lookouts, we watched the political gladiators play out. We enjoyed the drama, but sometimes we wonder a whole lot of things. And as a woman, I would like to know, your husband is considered the man for the people. I don't know, did he affect your relationship with him, trying to do the executive job? Did he also affect your relationship with your children? How was it?
We are his top priority.
Aww.
I am number one. Children comes next. In all of this, our children, I think it was only my first daughter that finished secondary school. He was still finding time to go visit them during their visiting days. Wow. Yes, he did that. Sometimes, most often he was the one going than myself. Yeah, because he didn't want to miss out of his children's education or whatever.
I'm sure that has helped the children a lot.
Oh yes. So he never for once, if he has to go, if something that has to do with the children, no matter the meeting, you postpone or reschedule, then go see the children, come back. Then me, of course, he never lacked in doing what he was supposed to do as a husband.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. I love that bit. Now, let me go to your, job while you were there, and I know somehow you're still here, your NGO, the Family Empowerment and Youth Reorientation Path Initiative. That is very fair. Yeah. Sometime in 2020, I had counted 60 houses you built for the indigenous people,
yeah.
The very less privileged. In fact, one old woman was crying as you were handing her over a kid. That was the time I actually tried to interview you again, but you refused. But I'm wondering, how do you, go about just doing that? What's the rationale? What's the propelling factor? Because I know I counted up to 60. I'm sure it's probably more than that.
Yeah, it was more than that by the time I left. Yeah, sometimes God will give you inspiration on what to do. How we went about Shelter of Hope, that's how we tackled Shelter of Hope. We noticed that so many people don't have good places to lay their heads, especially in the rural areas. If you notice, I was focusing, yes, rural areas.
I also noticed you tried to make sure you touched all the local governments.
I did. I went around all the local governments, some 2, some 3, depending on what we had on ground. So the mode of selection was not this politician give me somebody, because I know if you do that, the whole purpose will be defeated. The staff will go into any local government I intend to build. They will snap different houses, bad houses, not houses, we don't call those one houses, shanties. Bad ones, they'll bring the pictures to me and I will choose. I want to let you know that it was not based on political affiliation, because when they are snapping the house, you don't know which party that person belongs to. So they will bring it, display all the pictures, I will choose the worst building. There was one family we went to in one of the local government areas. I didn't even know the person was not in my party. And they made a whole lot of noise. How can you, this person is not? I said, well, my husband is governor for the states.
Not for the party.
And what I am doing, what FEREP is doing, is for the states, for the people of Akwa Ibom State. So irrespective of political affiliation, this man, God visited him. On that day, when I handed over the key, the man and his household said, okay, from now, we are going to follow you.
You see?
That was evangelism.
Political evangelism.
Political evangelism. And that's how the man and the community followed us.
That's good.
So that was the mode of selection. In fact, there was one woman that they named her house. They call her by the nature of her house, just as the woman with the issue of blood in the Bible.
Yes.
Doesn't mean that they didn't know her name. They knew her name, but they tagged her based on her sickness. This woman, they call her Ma Ntara Ufok. That means a woman with a bad house. She was selling groundnuts, petty groundnuts. So if you want to buy groundnuts, they will ask, okay, where do you want to? Okay, Ma Ntara Ufok. They never called her name.
That was really bad.
She was living with her dog, her goats, in one room. Then when it rains, what she does, she will stay up the night. She will hold her bucket so that the children will not be soaked with water. Oh, wow. It was, of all the houses I built, that was the most pathetic one. When this woman got the house, she now changed her name to a woman with a fine house.
Oh, that's a nice one.
And she was so happy that everybody cried that watched her when she was speaking. There was nobody that tears was not dropping. That at the end of it, you could see joy. You could see happiness. She was happy. The children were just happy. For the first time, she slept on a bed. When we took her inside, see how the children were jumping from one bed to another. So that is how or what we were doing with Shelter of Hope.
Anyway, I noticed the FEREP also had several other things you were doing, different arms for youth, for girls, for boys. I am particular about what you did for the boys, because a lot of times the girl child is placed on the forefront because of our vulnerability as women. The boy child a lot of times is neglected.
Yes.
And I see that you took on that bit, because the boy child also gets raped, also gets misled, and all of that. Share your experiences with your campaign for the betterment of the boy child.
So when we started, I started with the girl child. We had a program called Girls Uphold Your Dignity. We were moving around schools, talking to girls in the school, how to uphold their dignity, how to do well, behave well, how to shun social vices. And I noticed that in all of this, most of the times we were talking to girls. So one of the days I called my staff, I said, you know what? When we groom our girls, then the boys are left behind. These boys will eventually corrupt these girls again. Sure. It was time for us to take up on a boy child. So we started a program in 2018, 2019, and we tagged it Bright Future for Responsible Boys. So we launched that program. We brought in boys from different secondary schools. We brought in people that would talk to them about cultism, drugs, and all that social vices. And from that day, we started that program every quarter. And it was successful. Must interest you to know the number of schoolboys that surrendered themselves for reforms and rehabilitation in the course of this program.
You know, catch them young actually works.
Yes. So many of them were into cultism. So many of them were taking drugs. So many were doing
Secondary school?
Oh, yeah. So we took it and said, okay, let's deal with this one so that they don't get to that stage that nobody will be able to control. So that's how we started Bright Future for Responsible Boys. and it's still ongoing.
I'm really glad you took that path, because a lot of times traditionally we believe in training, grooming our girls, and the boys just go play football and do all manner of things. They end up being somebody's daddy. Who takes care of them? Nobody. And then at the point they are daddies, we expect them to do miracles. And I don't think it works that way. All right, so thank you for taking up that. And I was thinking, now 8 years is gone, you'll be relaxed. But unfortunately at the same time, you're not relaxed, because I was just reading the news the other day. You empowered 150 women. 150 women.
People. We're not only women. There were men in there.
How are you able to go ahead with this program?
When God gives you a vision, you have to run with it. I remember when I was still in office, they kept asking me, what will happen after your tenure? I told them then that this is an NGO. It's not a pet project. There are two different things. Pet project and NGO. Pet project is what you do when you are in the office, and when you leave, that ends it. But mine is an NGO that is registered with CSC. And why did I do that? Because I intended to carry the vision beyond our tenure as government. So that is why I'm still doing that. Even when I was in the office, I had a separate office, a ferret building, completely separate from wife of the governor's office. My staff were completely different from government staff, which I still have till today. I had a coordinator who is still coordinating till today. I have about 20 staff working there up till today. Because we deal with international organizations, they come in there to see what we are doing. So we are still running because it's an NGO and it was never a pet project.
That's good. Yep. So there is hope. So if I'm not an Akwa Ibomite, can I still benefit from it?
Yeah, sometimes. I don't even know when like this last one that I put up grants for students, it was online advertisement and they applied online. So when we pulled out all the applications, those that qualify, without looking at their names, but as long as you are in public university.
Okay, public.
Yeah, public, not we don't go to private university, we select. So we don't discriminate.
Yeah. Now, let me go back a little bit. A lot of times, I know you're done, but a lot of times we always think that there should be a synergy between our past, our present, and of course our future. So that way we are better built to become more formidable. And I'm wondering, between you now, who represents the immediate past and the present, what's the synergy like for you people to ensure that Akwa Ibom gets the best from the women that have been first women there?
Yeah, before our successor came in, he saw what I was doing, and I had briefed her. These are what and what and what you need to do. And of course, she will have a program of her own.
Definitely.
And her program will also center around family. Because wife of the governors, what are you supposed to do to your husband? Is to support. You are not the governor. So I am confident that she has already started. She launched her program, Giver. There's Golden Era for All. That is their own thing, Golden Era for All. And she is taking up also on helping families. Last week, she did something on widows. Last month, she had a program. So she's doing well also.
At the end of the day, Akwa Ibom people will continue to benefit from their first ladies.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. Now, my question again is, now you're done. I know. Let me start by saying congratulations. Your children just graduated the other
Who
time.
told you?
Me.
Who told you?
I know how to look around. I know how to find you.
Are you monitoring spirit? We thank God.
It's a good thing.
3 of them are finished and they made us proud. So I have only one now left, a baby.
Don't worry. Yeah. Very well. That one.
In 2 years.
Now, I want to know, how do you, engage yourself as family to have fun? Just leisure.
But as I told you, I never missed a summer holiday throughout my 8 years. I never missed it. So no matter how tight I will go, then he will join us, even if it's 5 days, he will join us. So we're always having that time.
What games do you play?
As a family, there's this game that they bring, they taught me how to play, Monopoly.
Oh, wow.
These children
You
will
have learned how to, I don't know how to play it.
and they're still teaching me, and they will be defeating me. They will stay on that, and that binds all of them together. When once they bring that thing, 4 of them will surround the table and will do it together.
Another thing I noticed that women generally, I'm not saying that we're cut out to be in the kitchen or to cook, but there is something about a mother, a wife going into the kitchen to cook. While you were there, were you still able to cook for your husband?
Sure. I was cooking for my husband throughout my 8 years in government house, except I'm not in the state. I will go down
that's the whole secret.
and make his food, then send it to him in the office.
Seriously?
If I had program that I will not be able to cook, wherever I was, I'll be communicating with them in the kitchen to make sure that his food is served at the right time. Then when once my office was not far from the lodge, and once it's time, they'll prepare things down for me. I'll just walk from my office, make his food, send it to him in the office, then go back.
As a total woman.
So, and I found pleasure in doing that.
It's beautiful.
And he knows when I'm cooking for him. He knows when I'm the one that cooked the food.
Okay, when he eats the food, he knows.
You know when I'm the one. If I'm not the one that prepared the food, he will tell.
Is it that your food has more pepper or more salt? Or?
He knows my cooking. I can never get it wrong. So that's why I tell people, said, occupying a position does not make you less of or more of who you are or who you were.
Definitely. How do you cope with a lot of things you read in the papers? You know, they may not be you, and you just wake up, there's a news about you. How do you handle that?
Can I shock you? I never read paper because most of the things they publish were false. And he too, because those things were distractions. So to keep yourself free from being distracted is to keep those trash from you. I never. It's people, there are people that will come and tell, "Ma, did you see this? They wrote this, they wrote that." And by the time you look at the headline, rubbish. For us not to be distracted, he even told me, let's not indulge in this.
I think it's better. Silence is always golden.
It's like Facebook. If you go into Facebook, they'll write all manner of things. Those are things that can really weigh somebody down.
I will not leave you until I find out how you unwind. What's your hobby?
I love singing. I love dancing.
Oh, wow.
All my life you have been faithful. I was a choir mistress before I left.
I was sitting back to listen to you.
All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath. So.
You know, a lot of women out there who are watching you at the moment, you know, sometimes we're at a crossroad. We're looking for that, voice to tell us we can. Yeah. It's well. Yeah. I need you to look into the camera and talk to the women. Just encourage us.
Yeah, you may not have all that it takes, but once you are determined and focused and trust in God, you can achieve anything in life. Never allow anybody to bring down your self-esteem. Say to yourself, I can. No matter the challenges you go through, put yourself together and determine to make it. I repeat, never allow anybody to bring down your self-esteem, not even your spouse. And you will thrive in whatever you are doing. I encourage every woman to find something to do, to earn a living. Don't depend on your husband alone. We are supposed to be helpmates. We're not supposed to be liability. So any woman that is a housewife, I encourage you, find 1 or 2 businesses to do so that you can support your home. Get up, rise up to your fate of greatness, and find something to do for yourself and to help your family. And most importantly, women, raise your children well. Your primary responsibility in the home is to cater for your children. Raise them well. Raise them in the way of the Lord. Teach your girl child how to dress properly. Teach your boy child not to bully. They will become responsible children in the future.
That's a nice one.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I like that aspect of ensuring that we teach our children right, because sometimes this age and era, we're running democracy in our homes with the wrong method. And I keep asking, can the okra ever grow taller? Not at all.
My boys know how to cook. And if a lady
cook the kaikon,
might not cook it,
there's another one I like. Can they make it?
No, those are extreme. Those are extreme food that needs. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's been wonderful talking with you. Yeah. We've been talking to the recently, elected First Lady of Akwa Ibom State, as the former First Lady of Akwa Ibom State, Dr. Mata Emmanuel Udom, and it's been so exciting speaking with her. I've learned a whole lot, especially on our child upbringing and taking care of the boy child. If you haven't learned anything, then you need to go back to our series page, the YouTube and all of that. Watch her again and see what you can learn and take home. I'll see you again next week. Bye.